Welcome to the second lesson on frog habitats in the Frogs in the Classroom series. This lesson is suitable for learners from grade 3 to 7. This lesson should be used in conjunction with the Frogs in the Classroom lesson plan, which can be found on the Endangered Wildlife Trust website. Worksheets are also available for learner assessments. Let's have a look at how many amphibians there are. There are 8,148 species of amphibians, and of these, over 7,000 are frogs and toads, 740 are salamanders and newts, and 214 are caecilians. New frog species are discovered every year. On average, 147 new species have been described every year for the past 10 years. 14 of these are actually from South Africa. Frogs are found throughout the world, inhabiting a vast range of habitats. Globally, there are over 7,000 species of frogs. They are found on every continent except Antarctica, which is just too cold for them, and in almost every habitat type. Typically, frogs are associated with warmer, moist conditions, and species density is concentrated in the equatorial regions. There are 135 species of frogs in South Africa, which are unevenly distributed across the country, both in terms of species and diversity. The darker blue areas in the map indicate higher species richness. The three main determinants of species distribution patterns are climate, center of origin, and range restriction. Most Southern African frog species fall into two broad categories. The first comprise species with evolutionary origins centered in the southern provinces or high altitude areas of the interior. The second comprises species with tropical origins distributed in the northeast. During past periods of climatic warming, the distribution of tropical species expanded southwards, while those already inhabiting the south retreated. During periods of climate cooling, this process was reversed. At the interface between these two faunal groups, subpopulations became isolated and evolved into independent geographic species. There is an increase of diversity northwards along the coast, from the Western Cape towards northern KwaZulu-Natal, and an increase in domesticity southwards. In general, the interior of the region has the lowest level of species diversity and endemicity. The number of amphibians found in South Africa is attributed to the diversity of the region's topography, climate, and habitats. Frogs have adapted to almost every type of environment on the subcontinent, and many species are highly specialized to suit conditions in a particular locality, including even in desert environments. In spite of some remarkable adaptations to cope with changing environmental conditions, all frogs remain dependent on moisture and climate. Thus, a larger number of species are found in areas that are warm and wet. The environmental conditions need to be suitable for frogs, and most species are located only in very specific habitats. In South Africa, there are 9 biomes, and within each biome, frogs can be found: coastal bush, forest, desert, grassland, karoo, fynbos, mangroves, moist and arid savanna. In general, forests and flowing water freshwater biomes are where the most diversity of frogs are found, while arid and semi-arid habitats are where frog species are less diverse. An example of a frog that dwells in forest areas in South Africa is the bush squeaker. A bush squeaker lays its eggs in the leaf litter on the forest floor. There is no free-swimming tadpole phase. Rather, the entire development is completed within an egg capsule, and tiny fully formed little frogs emerge after about 4 weeks. They are also very well camouflaged and cannot be seen easily on the forest floor. The endangered kloof frog lives near flowing water. They are agile jumpers and strong swimmers, enabling them to escape easily and hide in rotting plant material at the bottom of pools. Expanded adhesive toe tips allow easy movements over vertical rock faces and slippery surfaces. The African clawed frog lives in freshwater systems. It's named after its unique feet, as their hind feet are webbed, which makes them excellent swimmers, which is important as they spend a lot of their time in water. But their front legs have clawed toes instead, which are used to help shovel food into their mouths. The desert rain frog is an excellent example of a frog that lives in dry, arid areas. It has extensive webbing on its feet. This enables traction on loose sand and as the frog moves about on the surface of the sand dune habitat. It mainly moves around at night as it is a lot cooler. You can make your own little frog habitat in your backyard. For a quick and simple pond, you can use an old tire that is lined with plastic to seal it. You can then put indigenous wetland plants in pots in the tire. Make sure there are some rocks for the frogs to rest on, and you can fill it with water. Quick and easy, but will be greatly appreciated by your froggy friends. Let's see how much you've learned. Can you answer the following questions? How many frogs are there in the world? What part of the world are frogs not found? Which habitat type are the most frogs found in? What conditions do frogs enjoy? How many frogs are there in South Africa? And how do you build a quick frog pond? You could also go take a quick quiz by clicking on the link below. Thank you for joining us in the second lesson in the Frogs in the Classroom series. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please feel free to download our next lesson on threats and conservation.